Hello there and welcome back to TheGrassBlock. I'm your host Nixxus, and today I'm going to be looking at flip-flop circuits. I also thought I'd try recording this during the night on Minecraft. So just turn this on to peaceful so I don't get... just so you can see the redstone a little bit easier. As it generates a light level, it may be easier to see at night. If it's not, just tell me and I'll go back to my usual daytime recording. So, this here is a latch circuit. So, get some torches out, light some stuff up. This here is a latch circuit. Now, the entire latch circuit is just these two blocks here, arranged in this 9 square pattern. Because this generates an even number of blocks, like I could increase this to 4 blocks. That just generate more delay. Anyway, because of this pattern here, once one of the torches is turned on, it sets into that position and doesn't change by itself. But as soon as we put an input in, say by pressing this button, it changes which side is turned on. So now we have this side on and this side off. And of course, vice versa when I press this one. Now because of this, you can latch a input. Now, we don't really need to say it comes from a button, it could come from any circuit. If you want an output from one circuit to be latched on another, we can use this circuit. And the thing is, this has a reset that's relatively far away from its set position. So in this case, we tend to use flip-flops. There are other uses for flip-flops, which is the main reason I use them. Right, so to break down this, well, not so complicated circuit, but it can be brought down more. We have this. Now these two sandstone blocks, I'll be using all the flip-flop circuits to represent that latch. And this is that latch based in its most basic form. You can make it out of 6 redstone and 2 blocks, so it's not that hard to make. Maybe 2 ores of redstone, maybe able to make one of these. So, torches don't like me today. Redstone activated torch, that's a new one. Anyways, here we have the D flip-flop. Now the D in this flip-flop stands for data. As such, it's got a data entry here, and a clock entry here. If I can light it up, still doesn't like me today. Nope. Anyway, we've got a data entry here and a clock entry here. Now, this data entry by itself does nothing. It lights up that tiny strip of redstone. But other than that, it's not doing very much. But as soon as I press this clock input, oh, finally decides to light up. This output here, this line I'm looking at, toggles to whatever that data input is. Switch that on. It's not changed yet. As soon as I press this button, off it goes. Now this is all dependent on whether that block is allowed to be on or off. If the data entry is on, that's forced off, and thus allows these 2 circuits to come on, which turns on this redstone and gives you a positive output, or an on circuit output. If that data entry is off, when that clock's pressed, this becomes on and blocks these 2 torches, allowing that one to come on, which holds this block off. So there you have your basic latch. All this clock circuit is doing, you can see it here, it's a repeater and another repeater attached to this section here. Now this just generates a delay. There's nothing much to it. It's just so there's a delay and the data input can't directly influence the output. And that's your data flip-flop. It is actually fairly useful. I've used them for security systems, and if you connect this up to a, say an inverter, I'm not going to build this entire thing, it's just sure. And then say that block there was a clock. While this is off, this clock will be held in position. As soon as this turns on, it lets this clock move freely. So you could use it as a control mechanism, say rapid fire dispensers, so on and so forth. Although, if you only want a one button input, there is a better way. And that would be this one, which is toggle input. Now this basically works like combining the data and, well no, it's kind of like removing the data and only having your clock. So, how about output here? Sorry, this is a fairly large circuit, so I won't be able to show you as I set it off. Set it off, and the output's changed. Come back and set that off again. We have another inversion of output. Now again we have our standard latch system in the back here. So, see if I can talk you through this. This one's a bit complicated, so I may get a little lost. Okay, so when this clock turns on, it turns off this circuit and then on that one a little bit after, giving us a slight time where this line of redstone dust here is turned off. It's only a very slight time, but it's all you need. Now, depending on which state this is in currently, depends on if either this block is held off, which means this block is held on. Well, I may as well say it as this. If this wire is on, this is held on, holds this off, which therefore turns that wire off. And of course over here we have this on, which turns this off, and that wire's turned that one off. So on the next signal there should be just enough delay so this one can turn on, switch that off, which then allows this one to turn on and basically inverts the circuit, which I'll do now. And there we have it. So I'll explain it through the other way. Well, this one I don't think is as complicated. So we have this one, this wire here, holding both of these off. In that split second that's turned off, this wire will be off, and that wire will be off. So therefore this one will come on and flick this one off, and then invert the rest of the circuit. And that's your toggle flip-flop. Now if you say link this up to, I don't know, I would say a clock, but that'd be rather pointless. You could just use the clock output. Unless you were to use it as a delay. Although it could be used for the only use I can think of is putting a button outside your house next to your door instead of a lever, and it's still activating the door for as long as you don't press the button again. Or possibly even using this to hold a clock circuit still and having it as a sort of doorbell that you have to reset. But still, it's a fairly useful circuit, but I'm just messing around with it. I don't really do this sort of thing in my usual worlds. It's kind of proof of concept. But anyway, thanks for watching the TheGrassBlock. Let me try that again. Thanks for watching the TheGrassBlock. I've been your host Nixxus, and if you have any ideas for me or Zen and you wish to send them in, send an email to TheGrassBlock@gmail.com and we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. Oh, feel free to email if you also want the world. And thanks a lot.